Welcome back. Today I'm going to take you along with me on a time-lapse shoot. I did a video on shooting and processing time lapses a few weeks back, and I'll leave a link to that video in the description below. This car scene was shot with a phone, so it's not as clear as what I'll be recording in the video. All right, going for a walk today to do a time lapse. I'm at the Nature Preserve, where I'm doing a year-long time-lapse feature. Hopefully get this into some film festival type things. And I'm going to show you a little bit about how I do it. Clouds are thin and high, but I think it's going to look okay. And I'm interested to see how this Bluetooth headset does for audio. Wind's not too bad today, so hopefully it does all right. And we're going to see. So a quick bit of disclosure before I get back into the video of me in the field. I did want to mention that I worked at a camera store for 6 years. I don't think that's affected my judgment about brands. I own multiple today, and I've bought a lot of cameras and equipment since then. It's been about 5 years since I left the industry. But before I showed you the cameras, I wanted to mention that I probably got a discount on some of the stuff that is in this film. So make of that what you will. Just wanted you to know. Back into the film. The wind picked up, so I did a voiceover for this section back in my studio. I've leveled the camera and checked my focus, and set the aperture to f6.1. This is a micro 4/3 system, so that will keep most of the frame in sharp focus. I slightly overexposed the shots according to the onboard metering, which I found works well on this camera when I get to editing the raw files later. I'm using an onboard intervalometer for this time lapse. It's a bit hard to see the settings on screen, but I set it to record 500 images with a 2-second interval and a 5-second delay before starting. I've set up 2 cameras for this location. One has a wide-angle lens and the other has a normal zoom lens. Shooting 2 cameras at a time means hauling more gear, but it doubles the shots I can take in the same amount of time. And that's important because it takes just under 20 minutes to capture 20 seconds of video footage, so the more I can capture at the same time, the more options I'm going to have later for the final composition. While these are running, I'll walk you through what I'm using. The cameras are both Olympus EM5s, one's a Mark II and one's a Mark III. Time-lapse video captures a huge amount of data. The lower resolution of these cameras is handy for storage. I've still got more than twice the resolution I need for 4K render, so it works just fine. This project's over 1 terabyte so far, so hard drive space gets used up quickly. I've got a 12mm lens on the Mark II with an ND8 neutral density filter on it to allow me to shoot at a slower shutter speed. On the Mark III, I've got a 12-40 lens with a variable ND. The legs on both tripods are set fairly wide to help keep them stable in the wind. I had to raise the column on one to be able to shoot over the tall grass to the east. I've also tied down all of the camera straps with Velcro strips to keep them from getting into a shot when the wind moves them around. As the time-lapse runs, you can see the shots remaining in green near the top of the screen counting down. It's a pretty day for January in this part of the country, and a great day to be out shooting time lapses. All right. I think that went pretty well. Turn around and make sure I didn't leave anything behind. Got 2 different scenes. They're doing some work out here on the prairie, so I'm going to leave them to it. But 2 scenes shot. I think they're going to look all right. It's supposed to get cloudier as the day went on, but didn't look like that actually happened. So kind of low clouds near the horizon, but I think that works okay for this shot. Not a lot is changing this time of year. This is supposed to document seasonal change, and we're in the middle of January, and normally there'd be snow on the ground, and it is dry. So kind of a strange winter, but for now, gives me a reason to come out here and walk around, and that is great. So I'm going to walk back to the car, and we'll edit this when I get home and show you what we got. Okay, continuing my walk back towards the car, see if I can let the microphone. This may be a little windy, we'll have to see how bad the wind noise is. I'm using a cheap set of Bluetooth headphones as my mic source, but just kind of wanted to give everybody a look of where I'm at. This place is huge and beautiful. It's a tall grass prairie preserve, a little over 600 acres if memory serves me. There's a little bit of cropland that they own that they have not converted back into tall grass prairie, but it's a university restoration project. They do a lot of work. If I pass one of the controlled burn sites, I'll turn around so you can see it. We got to watch a couple of those this year. They're trying to get rid of invasive species and make sure it's healthy here. There's a lot of neat critters. Time lapses don't show it, but there are some pheasant, which aren't native, calling earlier. Red-tailed hawks. I heard a great horned owl the other day when I was out here. Some beautiful stuff. All manner of butterflies and little flying things. And just kind of a fun place to be. It's hard to know what to expect, and it is just gorgeous here. This used to be way out in the country on the north side of town. Now there are houses just to the north of the property, and really all sides at this point. And that's something that I document in the time lapse as well. When we get it done, we'll be done shooting in July, and then it's time to get it edited down and get music made for it. Okay, so I turn. That's a burn site behind me where they did a controlled burn. This is all divided into plots, and every year they burn a prescribed number of them. It's run by the university, so they've got a good plan and know what they're doing. It's kind of fun to learn about the whole thing. I started college as a science major and ended up as an art major, but I still love science. I just don't like math. Actually, I like math, I just didn't like math homework. So it's kind of a fun place. I'm gonna have to edit this down because I feel like I'm rambling, but it's also a nice place just to take a walk. I'll do another turn here to show you the trees behind me. You can see in a couple of spots where there's houses up on the ridge. I'm currently walking west. They got a grant to buy some of the land to the north, which will keep houses from coming up over the top. Keep this as the wildest space as possible. Here in the middle of the country, until you get to Colorado, there aren't a lot of wild spaces left. Most of Nebraska and Iowa are privately owned. There's parts of Minnesota that you can go out and get lost in that are pretty nice, and part of the Dakotas as well. But down here a little bit farther south, pretty much everything's privately owned, which means it's developed, and there aren't a lot of these left that aren't either state park projects, privately funded projects, or university projects like this one. Passing another one of the burn sites from last year. Feels like this year because it was only a month or two ago, but we're in January, so officially last year. And I think I'm gonna stop talking because I think my hood has slipped back down, or my hat is probably covering the microphone, so you're probably not getting much. As promised, here's the final time lapse from the M5 Mark III. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It'll be fun to see this area once we get some overdue snow. Here's the render for the M5 Mark II. Even with the thin cloud cover, it turned out pretty good. In July, I'll decide whether either of these clips make it into the final project. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions on settings and how to assemble these photos back into a video, as I mentioned in the beginning, I did do a companion video to this that goes into a little bit more detail. The link to that is in the description below. And if you found this useful, please like and subscribe. My name's Jeff. I'm a full-time artist, videographer, and photographer. And I make videos about photography and videography, the techniques, the tools, also some art stuff, and a little bit on navigating the art world. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.